What's up, guys? It is just MC coming to you with a raw review. 3/23/15. This raw was like pretty amazing. I'm shocked, but stay tuned. So we start off Raw. Kind of surprising that we started off with Sting. So Sting came out and he just started talking, and he started talking about how he's not doing this match for WCW. He's actually doing it to take out Triple H. And what really surprised me is I actually thought the situation was about WCW, and it kind of worried me because I didn't really want that to be the main focus. Because if that was the main focus, then it would have been you would have to go for Triple H because Triple H is WWE and Sting is WCW. So then, as he was talking, Stephanie McMahon came out and she was talking about how Sting was an icon and stuff like that, and she kind of trashed him and called him a dog, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I was like kind of getting hyped, and then like you know Sting said woo, and I was like, I was just laughing because it was like retarded, and then like Stephanie whatever tried to slap him, and like Sting grabbed her hand, and I was like, holy crap. And then I was like, man, Triple H is gonna be pissed. So then Triple H music hits. Triple H comes out, and he looks like he's just about to kill Sting, and he's like he's gonna stab the hell out of him or something. So then Sting looks at Triple H, and Triple H comes around and he asks Stephanie McMahon, did he hurt you or anything like that? And she was like, he just hurt my wrist or something like that. Triple H get mad, comes in the ring. I think he comes in the ring. No, he doesn't come in the ring. I don't think so. But he comes by the ropes, and Stephanie pulls out a sledgehammer. So I'm like, oh fuck. I don't think Sting has his baseball bat, but I keep forgetting Sting brings his baseball bat in his jacket. So Sting brought out a baseball bat. I don't think they were expecting it, but he had hit the baseball. He had got the baseball bat, and like Triple H like, oh fuck. I don't think I want to, you know, do it now. And so Triple H backs out. Stephanie was like, just wait till WrestleMania, and I was like, okay. That was the end of that segment, and then they had the segment when it was talking about vote now for Randy Orton and see who's going to be his opponent for his match later tonight. Was it going to be the Big Show, Kane, or Seth Rollins and JJ Security? But that was one part of the segment. Then the next segment was Harper and Stardust versus RTruth and Ambrose. Part one. It was an okay match. Harper and Stardust, they're okay. I mean they're not my favorites going into this ladder match. I mean, hell, Harper can pull out a good ladder match, but he just really not. He just really hasn't been interesting, in my opinion, lately. But Truth and Ambrose do pull out the win. Um, it was a solid match. Nothing bad, but I do think they need to work on them a little more. I don't know what's going on. And then we had the segment with Bill Simmons. He comes to the ring. I think it was for the 10-man tag match with 5 people on each side. So who plays in this match is Miz, Titus, um Rowan, Rose, is it? Is Adam Rose? Adam Rose, yeah. The Ascension and Darren Young. I guess Darren Young and Titus are no longer together again. I mean, that's really stupid, but I mean, because I feel like Darren could have did a lot with his singles career if they would have talked about it and did it. But the match was okay. I'm kind of getting a little irritated with Miz and Mizdow. One thing that's irritating me is Mizdow needs to really turn on the Miz. Like I've been waiting for it for like what 4 weeks, because it's constantly the Miz trying to outshine Damian Mizdow, because Damian Mizdow is like what better than what Miz, and it's kind of like it's like crazy because he doesn't get none of his shit in. Like if you see Damian, he's doing some moves and he does like the HBK, jump up, and he's like, Miz like tag me back in. I'm like, oh, I would slap the fuck out the Miz. I'm just being honest, but I think they're gonna turn each other what at WrestleMania. And to be honest, Miz and Damian Mizdow should actually have a match at WrestleMania. Like, just get him a little match at the pre-show or anything. I mean, gosh, this it's kind of bull, but that's what we get. I'm trying to think who won that match. I think it was the team, not the Ascension team, but the team that had was it Damien not Damien Sandow, but I keep forgetting because it was like a 10-man tag and you can't really remember who was in it. But I think it was the team that had Rowan and Titus and Darren Young. I think they won. I'm not for sure. If you comments to let me know because I kind of zoomed out in that match. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, but I kind of do remember it. So the next segment was whoever for the I think it was for the Randy Orton vote thingy, and so Randy Orton has a match with the JJ Security and Seth Rollins. Match was actually it was kind of funny because it starts off with Joey Mercury, and Joey Mercury's trying to he's trying to get his little moves in. Like Randy's like no, and Randy's beating the crap out of him, and then he tries to I think Seth tried to pull a move, and then I think Randy got attacked or something by the other guy, Jamie Noble. Um, but around the ending of the match, Seth Rollins tries to pull out the curb stomp. Randy moves out the way, and then I think Joey Mercury comes in behind him. He RKO's him. I think he does like a DDT or something to Jamie Noble and both of them around the match. But Randy Orton does pick the win up, and it was a very entertaining match. Um, I kind of do think that Randy Orton um, and Seth Rollins will have a good match at WrestleMania. I um, I don't know how long the match is gonna be. It's probably gonna be a 15 or 10-minute match, in my honest opinion. Um, you know, Randy Orton, I don't think he could have had a lot of options as he came back, because he literally just came back not too long ago, like 2 or 3 months ago. So I don't think they would have had anything really for him. In my honest opinion, I really wanted him to come to Raw after WrestleMania, because that would have been like the place to come. But they might be saving it for somebody else. Um, and that kind of is like okay. But the next segment that we have, I believe, is this when they talk about the special guest referee match. Oh wait, that's after the match. Nikki versus Paige. Before the match started, Paige and AJ had a little backstage thing, and Paige is trying to tell AJ that she deserved a title shot, and AJ's trying so hard to tell her that they're both that they're trying, like Nikki and Brie are trying to get them to like collide and break up before the tag team match they have at WrestleMania, and she's like AJ's like, you know what, they're trying to break us apart, and we got to stick together so we can not argue about this. And Paige is kind of being a douche about it, and then Paige calls her crazy, and I was like, oh fuck, she called her crazy. You can't call AJ crazy, and you know everything goes collided. And then they get ready for the match, and so Paige takes on Nikki for the Divas Championship, and the match was pretty good. It was pretty solid, and then like I think when they went outside the ring, AJ attacked Brie and then assumed that Nikki was behind her and hit her, but not knowing it was Paige. And so Paige was kind of unconscious. So, Nikki got her, put her in the ring and did her move. And then you know, Nikki retains the championship and then AJ comes in the ring because she kind of felt bad, and then Paige just get mad and they start fighting each other, and it just goes all crazy. But it was a very good minute match, couple of minutes match. I really like Divas matches, and I wish they can get a lot more time because I feel like a lot of Divas can actually do good. Like, I don't want to just see Paige, AJ, and the Bella Twins. I want to see like Natalya. I want to see Naomi. I want to see Summer Rae. I want to see other people besides them because I feel like the Divas division can go way farther than it is right now. Just look at NXT. You look at Charlotte. Look at Sasha Banks. Look at Bailey. They're all amazing athletes that are getting pushed to the max. And I feel as if they can do the exact same with Divas. That's why we have the hashtag Give Divas a Chance, because it shows us that they are unstoppable and they need a chance to show it. I don't think Mr. Man is getting the picture because mostly his whole life he hasn't really gave Divas that much of a chance. Like, I guess you can say around the early 2000s or Attitude Era, they got a little bit of chance, but Divas really never got a chance to shine as much as you think they could have. And I think it's time for a change. But let's enough of that. The next thing was the WWE doing the vote app talking about who would be the special guest referee for Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler match. The contenders are Dean Ambrose, R-Truth, Bad News Barrett, Stardust, and Luke Harper. In my honest opinion, I was like, I really, it's kind of, I was like, those are only people you could have thought of. And I was like, oh well. In my honest opinion, I was going for R-Truth because R-Truth, man, he's been making me laugh. Shoot, all freaking couple of weeks doing the title thing. But the next thing that happened was Snoop Dogg came out. I was like, oh, I forgot Snoop Dogg was on the show. Snoop Dogg came out. He started talking about WrestleMania, and I think he was trying to promote his new album. And Curtis Axel came in. I was like, I feel so bad for Curtis Axel. In my honest opinion, Curtis Axel needs a new gimmick. In my honest opinion, has had the same gimmick since he's debuted from NXT. And that is like so scary because this dude has so much potential to be more than he is. I feel like he should go down the trait that his father did instead of trying to do something different, because different for him is not as good as different for other people. Because, like, just say for example, Seth Rollins, when he changed, it was the difference was better for him because it made him a top heel beside Brock Lesnar, and it made him more popular. This Curtis Axel was just like, when they hit him with Paul Heyman, it kind of when his career went down. Only pop that he's really ever got was him winning the Intercontinental Championship on his dad's birthday. Was it father? Oh, no, it was actually Father's Day, and that really didn't turn out so great afterwards because then he just got lowered and the crowd didn't really care. But so during this, Curtis Axel interrupts Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg's talking about, oh, you're the guy that cares about, he's like, you're the guy that wants to talk about Curtis Axel mania or whatever, and he's like, Snoop Dogg mania, and he's like telling me how's he clown and stuff, and I'm like, well, it's honest opinion, and I was like, kind of true, because Curtis Axel's just not going anywhere. But before any of the situation happened, Snoop Dogg and Curtis Axel did collide on Twitter earlier in the day, but Snoop Dogg had said something, and then like all of a sudden Hulk Hogan comes out, and I'm like, oh man, this is crazy because I really wouldn't think I would see Curtis Axel and Hulk Hogan in the same ring because that's just weird. But he comes out and he starts talking to Curtis Axel, telling him that he's really not Axel Mania. It's not him because he's like you can't really do that because you're not that good enough to do it. That's basically what he said. I think Curtis Axel took it offensively and tried to hit Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan hits Snoop Dogg throws Curtis out the ring. End of that story. Wow, Snoop Dogg, man, I don't know if it was high like Wiz Khalifa, but dude was kind of doing some stuff. He just seemed like different, and I guess he just in his older stage, and I just think he wants to try different things. But the next match was Los Matadors. I think it was versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. And it was Los Matadors with El Torito versus Tyson Kidd and Natalya. And this match was it was okay. I mean, I don't have any opinions on this match because oh man, I just don't like Los Matadors. They suck. In my opinion, they should just go to NXT. I mean, Sin Cara and his tag team partner have a better chance at NXT. So why wouldn't Los Matadors, whatever. So by the end of the match, it was Natalya and El Torito, the midgets, and they were fighting, and I'm like, come on, are you serious? Natalya can, I would literally slam him and pin him. And I'm like, how do you get a roll up pin from a midget? I mean, this is not even Hornswoggle era. Speaking of Hornswoggle, where is he at? We need to get Hornswoggle into Twitter and figure out where he's at because I haven't seen that dude in ages. Did he get released? Comment and please tell me. But anyways, Natalya gets the loss because of El Torito and his roll up pin, and that was some stupid stuff that I do not want to mention again. But the next match is Rusev versus Jack Swagger. This match was an all-out brawl, and for a second there, I was like, "Oh, Jack Swagger's." I was like, "Jack Swagger cannot win." But for a second, you would have thought he was gonna win. But I don't think Jack Swagger really could have beat Rusev, even if he really like had everybody, the crowd over him. I don't think he can really beat him. But Rusev, you know, beats the shit out of him, super kicks him or whatever, puts him in accolade. And since Lana's not there to tell him to get off, because I don't know where Lana is, I think she's making a movie or anything, but Lana wasn't there, so he kept doing it. The referee was like, tell him to stop. He didn't stop. John Cena came out. John Cena comes out running, thinking he's really badass, and then fucks around and gets beat up by Rusev. Rusev's like beating the shit out of him outside the ring, throwing him and shit. Then I was like, he picked up John Cena kind of in a gay way, cause like his legs were spreaded and it was in the back of him, and then he had picked him up and he had slammed him on the announce table. I was like, oh fuck. Then he gets on the announce table and starts putting accolade on, and I was like, wow. I starting to think they make these what would say the announcement tables a lot harder to break because a lot of the past that was been hard. It was easier. Well, it was actually easier for the announcement tables to break. Now they're kind of hard because like when John Cena, I mean not John Cena, but Randy Orton hits the RKO, it's like the table doesn't break. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, with a guy like Big Show, the table automatically would break, or like But I was like, well. And the next thing we actually had was a promo that Bray Wyatt was doing about Undertaker, and he was talking about how Undertaker is a liar and doesn't. He was talking about how Undertaker was a liar and that himself Bray Wyatt tells truths and he's not a liar, and that Undertaker's finished and he's gonna take over what is left of Undertaker. And I was like, dude's promos are so good, but sometimes they're hard to understand. That's why you got to sit there and listen to him. I feel like he comes out there and he just says what he wants to, cause ain't no way in hell you can just be looking off a fucking paper knowing what to say like that. Dude's so creative. Like, dude's had the best promos since a long time, and I'm happy to say that he's a genius. But Lightning starts playing as his as he was talking or something, and I was like, okay, all right. And then after that, I believe it was the Hall of Fame thing when it had Kevin Nash. And so Kevin Nash is now inducted in the Hall of Fame, thankfully, because it's Hall of Fame. No disrespect to any of the Hall of Famers. This Hall of Fame this year pretty much sucks. It's really not interesting. Last year's was pretty interesting, and the year after was like really interesting because I had Lita, Trish, Booker T. I was like, man, that was a great Hall of Fame. But I mean, this year, I think only a couple of interesting people is like the Bushwhackers. I think that's the tag team name, and Kevin Nash. I'm really not interested in anybody else. Uh, what's the name? Alyssa Blaze, whatever her name is. I keep forgetting. She's okay, but I'm not interested in her. The only thing I know about her is when she dropped the title on with WCW. She dropped the title in the trash. I mean, that's probably the only thing she's remembered of. Um, so they have that. Told Kevin Nash is in the Hall of Fame. So they had the poll of who's going to be the guest referee, and to come to think of it, it was Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose came out, and I was like, oh man, that's cool. And so he's, the guest referee. The match for Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler was amazing. I mean, it was like an all-out brawl, and they were just fighting each other, and it was just doing a lot of moves. But around the end, um, Dolph Ziggler pulls out the win when he does like was zigzag behind Daniel Bryan. It was like kind of like the same thing that happened on SmackDown the week last week. Um, he pulls out the win, and then I think he turns around and you know Dean Ambrose hits him with the was it that the whatever his move is. I think it's I don't know what it's called. I think it's still the same name, but I keep forgetting because I think Drew McIntyre, Bo Dallas, they've used that move. They've used that move, so it's kind of hard to figure out what it was called. But Dean Ambrose does it, and then he gets out the ladder. And he starts climbing the ladder, and then like people start coming out trying to, you know, trying to climb the ladder with him, trying to fight him. But at the end, no one gets successful. And I'm like, to be honest, my opinion, I'm like, where's Sheamus? Sheamus is not back yet. I've heard rumors that he's supposed to win the Battle Memorial, whatever. And I'm like, how you gonna win if you're not fair? Maybe he'll do a return WrestleMania, maybe SmackDown. I really don't see him returning to SmackDown because I don't think they would do that. But hey, whatever suits WWE, they can go ahead and do it. It's their product. But then after that, we had the final thing that happened on the Raw was the thing with Brock Lesnar face to face with Roman Reigns. So Brock comes out, he's looking pretty badass. I kind of like Brock Lesnar because he doesn't have that he has like facial hair on his face. I kind of like the Brock Lesnar with a whole bunch of facial hair on his face because when he was in UFC when he had like a beard, like he looked completely badass. Like I was like wow, but comes out and he's just standing there and Paul Heyman's doing his promo and all of a sudden I think Roman Reigns comes out during it because he was talking about children and I was like, oh shit, this is crazy as hell. Roman Reigns comes out and he's just looking at Brock like, in my honest opinion, Roman looked kind of like a pussy in the situation because I don't know what I don't know what the thing was and then like I think Roman snatched the title from Brock and they like fight for it, but that's about it. That just cut to WWE Network. I don't even have the WWE Network. I don't even know how I'm gonna watch WrestleMania. Probably find a local website, but it was okay. I was like, oh, that's it. Well, all right. And I was like, okay. But that is the end of my Raw review. Hope you enjoyed it. I mean, it was kind of a little boring because I'm just sitting here talking and But like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what are your opinions about WrestleMania 31. What's your opinions about the go home show for WrestleMania for Raw? And tell me your opinions about people that was on Raw or matches that you predict about WrestleMania. Isham C is out.